So the last thing we're going to be covering here on our Crazy Friday with the Transformers and Hasbro Pulse Con big reveals and everything is pretty much the nuts and bolts, the leftover information they told us, as well as the teasers in relation to our Commander class, our Titan class, and the Haslabs and everything like that. So let's get into it. First, we'll cover the nuts and bolts. They pretty much wanted to say that, moving forward into 2024, our leader class boxes will be returning to an open window kind of style. It won't have the plastic on it, but it will be open so people could see the product. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to something that was like a request from the retailers because they want to see the product. They don't want to have something closed. Maybe people were returning stuff and putting something else in it and the return area wasn't able to see it. Whatever the reason, they're returning to open packaging, and that's great because it's always cool to see your figures, especially when you buy them. You want to see them. They gave a shout out to the package designers, of course, of Mario, Christina, and Amy. So shout out to them. They did a quick mention just about the Hasbro PulseCon exclusive, the Armada Power Links Hot Shot with Jolt. They just wanted to say that the Jolt was designed by Hasui-san, as well as those like screen accurate blasters that came with Hot Shot also. So that was a nice little thing. They just wanted to say that this is a separate piece of it, and they wanted to just do something that was really show accurate, including the colors and everything. So they're very happy with that. Then they go into the Hall of Fame stuff. And so we had 3 Hall of Fame categories. The first one was the real life Hall of Fame inductee, a real human induct into the Hall of Fame, what they do every year. And this time around, it was Takao Ajima-san, and he pretty much, why was he put into the Hall of Fame? Because he was the man pretty much that was pioneering hyper-articulation for Transformer toys. He came into Takara in the late 80s, 89, 90, right when, Victory and Zone was kind of going on its way out. And he even said in his induction speech, he was coming in when Transformers was on a downturn, and he was kind of worried that every year there might not be Transformers anymore. And then when G2 and Beast Wars started to roll around in the mid to early 90s, he started to do like ball joints and crazy articulation. And everything that we celebrate today about our crazy articulated characters came from Ajima-san. And so, we celebrate him, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and he's been with Takara for quite a while. So congratulations to you, sir. And thank you for the very flexy robots in disguise. Not just sexy, but flexy robots in disguise. The fan vote best figure for Legacy Evolution went to Legacy Evolution Commander Class Armada Optimus Prime. That's pretty much a given. Like, that figure's absolutely insane. Very great, super show accurate. Does everything we would want and then some. And everything that we loved about that original Armada design and toy, but now with the articulation, the posability, the matrix, the fact that you could do frame for frame the stock footage transformation of Super Convoy or Super Optimus Prime. Everything's amazing. They gave a big shout out to Aaron Archer, who was behind the original design. So really cool stuff with that one. Rightfully should be number 1 for this year. We got the fan pick best figure of Robots in Disguise, not best figure, best character of Robots in Disguise 2001, aka Car Robots. No surprise, Skybite won, aka Gel Shark. I was hoping that someone else would vote for something because usually, like I said, the winners of this steer what will be a figure in the future. But, Skybite had figures already. He had a Generations figure. He had a whole bunch of stuff in Cyberverse. And he'll get another one from this, so hey, congratulations, Skybite. We knew you were going to win, but kind of hoping for something different. Surprise me, They mentioned second place and third place. Second place, which was a distant second, was Optimus Prime, a.k.a. Fire Convoy. And in it ridiculously close to Optimus, close third place, like they were almost interchangeable, was Rail Racer, a.k.a. JRX. I would have loved it if JRX Rail Racer got first place. I'd love to see them in a modern interpretation, but it is what it is. If we want trains, we'll go get our Masterpiece Raiden for now. They also had the fan vote that was during the live stream. There was a live voting that was happening, and it was who is your favorite Matrix bearer, which having Optimus on the list, you might as well just not even do the vote. So Optimus won by a landslide, pretty much like 73% of the vote. was Optimus Prime, and then everything else was like under like 10%. I think Rodimus, who got second place, got like, I don't know, maybe 17%, and then Galvatron was like close with like 15%, and then Ultra Magnus got like 10. So it was pretty rough, but again, another vote where it's like, is it really needed? They took some questions from the audience, but only one of them really got asked because they were really, crushed for time pretty much. One fan asked, the Transformers Prime video games that existed back in the day had generic characters. Would those characters be able to appear in the Gamer Edition Studio Series line? And then Evan said he'd love to do that. He made a note that in that game, Thunderwing kind of was like a Titan class character that was akin to, like, let's say the IDW Stormbringer comics. And he would love to do something like that if the opportunity presented itself. BMAC mentioned that every time he goes into Evan's office, he sees this secret Dinobot that he's working on. And I'm going like, oh, what the heck is he talking about there? So supposedly there's some kind of secret Dinobot project being worked on right now. I don't know if that's studio series related or mainline or whatever. We don't know, but it's something. And then they went into Haslab talk. And it was something where they were like, okay, we're not going to be talking about a Haslab for the next Haslab, but we are going to be talking about Desaurus. We were going to have an update, but we didn't get the footage done in time, so stay tuned for that. And then they mentioned that we will have another Haslab for Transformers, but they won't do it this year. It will be next year for the 40th anniversary, and it'll be, and I quote BMAC here, and BMAC is known for like putting these red herrings, Omega type level reveal. Now, we could take this in multiple different ways. Is it an Omega class price point? Is this like the Omega? Is Omega just mean like it's going to be something crazy and he's just, having fun with words? Is he being coy and he's suggesting at what potentially the next one could be? Omega. Is it Omega Supreme? Is it Omega Prime from Robots in Disguise, Car Robots? Is that why they did the vote? Because they wanted to know, maybe. So are we getting like a Super Fire Convoy Omega Prime perhaps getting updated for the modern era? Is it the Omega Lock, which then includes, Primus, which is a possibility, Planet Cybertron? We will see. But I mean, maybe he's just throwing words out there and making us freak out. Like, yeah, it sure would be, crazy to show it. We would be getting ahead of ourselves. Sometimes you could just say something and people read too much into it. But just want to put that out there. And the last two things is we had that beautiful poster that shows us the Legacy United stuff. And while all the characters on there, we got to see the toys of them pretty much. Two of them were not the case. And it's probably going to be, I don't know, I have conflicting feelings about this one. So first we have Magmatron from Beast Wars Neo. Absolutely cool, amazing figure back in the day. Triple combiner, they called it the orgy mode. No joke. That's what it was called in Japan. Where the three dinos combine, and then they could also make a giant robot. Really cool character, really cool figure. I'm so happy people got an opportunity to own that version of it because it was available in the Dinobots line when that was during Beast Machines. So even people who didn't get the Beast Wars Neo version were able to get a version of it with some safety standards kind of fixed around and stuff for the Western market. So that's pretty awesome. And they're going to be doing an update because when they show it here, I imagine that this is going to be probably, there's one of two ways I could see this. Either this is going to be a really watered down leader class or a really crazy commander class. I want to feel it's a commander class, but if that's the case, then what is this Tidalwave? Because people are like, well, Proto-Man, Tidalwave is going to be the Titan class. I want to believe that, but in that same image, they have Megatron there with Tidalwave combined with him. And I don't know how a Titan class Tidalwave is going to combine with our leader class Megatron. The scale is just not going to work there. If he was like a commander or even a leader, yeah, I could believe that. And I know like people are like, oh man, if he's a leader, that would suck. And if he's a commander, hopefully he'll be just large enough. And I'm conflicted too. I agree. I think it would be great if he was a Titan class because that throws back to the video game and how crazy he was in the video game because he was just so supersized in that. And in the show too, his size was conflicting. It was all over the place. Sometimes he's absolutely huge. Sometimes he's only like, slightly taller than, let's say, Jetfire. But it's something where I would love it if he was huge, but at the same time, a Titan class would not work functionally, the combiner elements, with Megatron. It would just, the size difference would be way too much. So a commander would probably be logical, but then now we're going, well, does that mean we have two commander classes here? Is Magmatron a commander class? Is Tidalwave a commander class? I don't know. There's too much stuff conflicting here that I can't give an answer right now, but it is interesting to see what we have here on this poster that will, give us an indication of stuff from the future. We will be getting a Tidalwave. We will be getting a Magmatron. How we'll be getting them, that is still yet to be determined, but that is the teaser of it, along with the Haslab. So a lot of crazy stuff for 2024. Let me know what you think, because it's a lot of crazy stuff. But thank you for staying with me today, this crazy Friday, for the Hasbro PulseCon. And we'll do some updates, because there was some new information that came out over some of the past stuff that I talked about. That's just what happens with this crazy day. The news keeps flowing forward. So we'll have some updates and some housekeeping on Saturday, on the Saturday Night Transformer Slag podcast live stream. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there. Tomorrow, we'll take some super chats from the fans and take some questions and update the news, and a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.